Hello there, welcome to today's Daily Dominion. It's a Monday, so we got to face off against our base board. This time it is paired with allies. Our ally is the Circle of Witches, which allows you to curse if you can get some favors. On this kingdom, the only card that gives favors is Student. So, and Student is not a particularly quick favor gainer, or maybe quick is not the right word, but not good at amassing a lot of favors. So I don't know how much of that we'll get to do here. Underneath this pile, how do I see these things? Underneath, look at this, watch this. Okay, so if you right click here, it does it. Okay, nice. But if you right click here, it just disappears. Or if you right click, well, maybe once it's a finger. Probably once it's a finger. So the border, yeah. Anyway, I think this is kind of buggy, right? You would think, you'd expect the box to go around all of it. Anyway, that would be nice if you could right click it. I mean, it's a pretty minor thing. Anyway, the rest of this thing is Conjure, which is a gainer. It can be quite powerful, though here I think it's pretty awful. Sorcerer also gives curses by forcing the opponent to try and guess their top card. And it's fine. Can only give out one curse a turn, basically, and then they know what's on top. And there's Lich, which is actually the only way to get extra actions here on this kingdom. It has this powerful effect and a nice when trashed effect as well, but forces you to skip a turn. So I'm a little bit, I'll be honest, I've thought about the board a little bit. I don't know how this is all going to pan out, because the AI may just, well, I'm pretty sure I know what the AI is going to do. They're going to buy silvers. They're going to buy marquee, some gold, only 2 or 3 marquee. Sometimes they buy a lot of marquee and it works if they have villages, but here, I don't know what they'll do. They're just going to play marquee big money, most likely. And that, you know, when you play marquee from your starting hand of 5 cards, you get to draw 4 cards. That's pretty good. And the plus buy even can be a little bit nice at least at the start. You might take a gold silver over your first province or something. So that all will be pretty nice. And here we don't have any other draw besides marquee. Well, there's a library, but we don't have any draw that isn't non-terminal, which means you just can't really get big hand sizes. The only thing you can do is trash out and like chain a bunch of markets together as far as like action chains go. Bandit is potentially a strong attack against the money deck. You know, every treasure trash can be pretty valuable, but you can easily whiff on the hits, and you can get to a point where you're probably playing Bandit most turns or like every other turn, but it's not going to be every turn for sure. And as you get the golds, you'll be playing the Bandit less often. If there were just if there were any sort of village on this kingdom, there would be just a million things to do. You'd be able to do Bandit with Modify. You'd be able to use the Conjurers to get more of the villages. You'd have really a quite massive engine. You'd be more reliable. You'd be able to do the attacking a lot more. And it would all just be really exciting and interesting, I think. But we don't have that, so we're gonna have to kind of struggle through. And I guess what my big dilemma is whether we try and do the thin stuff with Sentry, Modify, Moneylender, etc., and do change of markets and maybe play a Bandit, or do we just bite the bullet and say we're gonna play the same deck as the AI. I guess I don't know yet what the AI will do, but if we do that, it's you know, then it's just a race, and it's just kind of see what the shuffles give us, which is always unsatisfying. So we'll give the engine a honest go. I use engine loosely here. It's really just plain markets and then having some golds probably with the bandit. I'm going to open moneylender silver, and hopefully hit 5. I think they played 4, yeah, so they're going to go silver almost certainly. We maybe hit double 5, and if we hit double 5, we'll be in a different kind of world than I was kind of originally thinking about, because this is much nicer. So what I'm going to take here is modify. We could do second century, but honestly, the goal here is now just to trash out, maybe buy a market, and then modify the moneylender into a bandit. Those are our next couple. We don't draw a state here. Oh boy. Yeah, so we're getting oh, and they buy a century, which is interesting. That makes me feel better, just because I don't think they actually harness the power of trashing terribly well. So it's definitely, this is a perfectly fine shuffle to trigger, and in fact it was pretty likely to get us to 5 again, and it did. I also like when they trash, because sometimes if they're going quick on the provinces, the estates that they keep versus the 3 points that have removed can be a little bit scary. Wow, these have been good reveals. This is actually this is maybe not a great game to watch to figure out what to do on this kingdom, because my draws have actually been, I am maybe not exactly perfect, but very, very close to it. Maybe literally perfect so far. Which is pretty wild. Okay, now they get the marquee. What do they have there? I kind of want to try and at least somewhat watch the deck. There's this, I guess there's a kind of deck they can build here where they have trashed out and they use the marquee to draw the silvers. That's not super crazy. This is maybe the first turn where you could kind of complain. Not that you really need to complain about it, but could consider complaining about the shuffles a little bit. The only thing, it would have been nice to hit the copper with the sentry. I mean, that's literally it, but let's go ahead and get our bandit now. There's definitely a world where it's like worth picking up a student to swap the stuff over, or to get to sorcerer, but I don't know. At this point, it's going to be hard for me to find a spot to do that. If they found the marquee off this, they may win. That's pretty good. Well, they're pretty low on money, actually. So I'm not sure. If we hit a silver, it's going to be a little tough. We don't hit a silver. That's actually probably friendly towards them. This is actually terrible. I mean, this hand, so they had 5. I don't know exactly what they had in the previous hand. They had 5 cards and they triggered a reshuffle off this sentry, but they got to marquee, the single marquee, to get a province. And they also only drew, like, I guess they left, you know, because now there's a marquee in this hand. This is a marquee free province. Anyway, I'm a little sad, but it is what it is. That will be suggestive, though, if we get, you know, near perfect draws and we still lose. See, now we've whiffed the bandit hits, which isn't terribly surprising, but is bad. I'm gonna still get the markets here. We're going to have better threat to doing the... Okay, well, at least they don't have enough money in deck to, like, always get everything. I wonder if I should trash the silver. I mean, the last 2 cards are markets. It's probably worth it at this point. I mean, it's the same amount of money this turn, and then, all right, no good province, or no good fortune on the bandit hits, which is rough. They probably have the marquee again, yeah. Okay. We're gonna have it's gonna be a little interesting. Guess we discard this. I don't know, there may be another market. No, just a modify. If we had found the modify, we could have discarded it, and then we would have drawn through full everything, but we could lose the bandit at this point. If we go double province here, if we draw okay-ish, we probably win if they just get a single province. Okay, they don't even single province. Okay, so if we find, yeah, this should be good enough. I think maybe not guaranteed. There's still one more stop card that we could find. Now it's guaranteed. As long as we see the modifies guaranteed, we'll either be able to do double province, or we could have milled. In this case, we can actually just get double. Okay, so just enough power at the end to get 2 double province turns. Makes it look pretty good. Like I said though, I had perfect draws, which definitely speeds you up by a few turns. Both the 2 early Sentry trashes were, I got double 5 on the reshuffle. The first 2 Sentry trashes were double trashes. First 2 Sentry plays, and then, I mean, once that happens, then it's not like shuffles necessarily. Your just deck is already in complete control, but that happening was not likely. I guess on the flip side, the bandit hits were nothing. We played it 3 or 4 times, and we got no hits. Any hit would actually help quite a bit here because this deck doesn't have a lot of money. And there's only $13 in it total, 14 I guess. So it's actually not too hard for this deck to miss province if it especially if it loses some treasure. But anyway, we got there. It looked a little scary, but I had really good draws, so it was fine. And even in the middle, it kind of looked scary, but I think I was probably being a little paranoid rather than being realistic about the deck quality at that point, because I was in a spot to do what happened, which was even if the AI gets a province there, we still win. You know, like everything looked pretty good for us. There are some nightmare draws that were possible. I mean, I had enough stop cards. Well, let's think. At the before this turn, I had 3 provinces and 3 golds. So there were like some hands, but they were really unlikely. And if you even get 1 market, then with a stopped hand, you have you basically have a guaranteed province estate to win. So there were a couple nightmare hands that were possible, but they were pretty unlikely. Okay, I've blabbed on enough about this kingdom, which is not actually all that interesting, but it does have a nice, I mean, we still got to play action, so hooray. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.